Hey, good to see you guys. And to kind of just chit chat a minute and give that algorithm time to come on because, I'm at a different time than normal. I've been kind of bouncing around lately, haven't I? Hey, Joel, good to see you. Mischief Managed, Marilee, it's good to see all of you all. So, yeah, JoJo Paint too. Hello to you too. Good to see you. So I'm kind of hoping that the notifications go out. There's Hef. Hey, hey. Yeah. Oh, guys, I'm tired today. I didn't sleep very good because of the storms last night. We had really bad thunderstorms last night and then like all night, literally. And like the wind and it ripped part of our hey Brooke, it ripped part of our oh gosh, what do you call that? It just went out of my hand. The guttering. I got it. It took me a minute, but I got it. Um It ripped part of our guttering loose, so then the rest of the night, it just sat there and bang, 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 and it's like, "Oh my gosh." So, I'm supposed to be trying to find somebody to, come and fix it. We actually just got it done just a couple of years ago, just got new guttering, but it looks like we might have to have more because it ripped it up pretty good. Hey, Never In Aaron, good to see you. I, am all well, a bunch of people's coming in, thank you. Thank you, Joe, just got here from taking my dad to the doctor. Mm. End of life is sad. After mom's passing, he has gone downhill fast. That happens a lot. That really does. It happens a lot. That's so sad. I'm sorry. I hope that, maybe he'll pull out of it. I was scared of that when my mom passed because my dad, I never realized how much he really depended on her. And physically, it got to where she was more dependent on him. But I think emotionally, he was always way more dependent on her. Judy Lee, good to see you. Buttercup 49, good to see you. Oh, man. Anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and get started. I've got a couple little things, just kind of business things to take care of, and a couple little things I want to talk about. And then we're going to head into today's live, which is not really going to be all that long, I don't think. Probably right around an hour total. But Mischief, you've been up since 3. I never went to sleep till about 6:30 this morning. Your dad's 99. Oh, that is same age as your mom. Yeah, that's just sad. I can't imagine. That's a long time to be married to someone. Yeah, 99. So, anyway, my parents, I'm trying to think. They would have been married 50, 55, 56 years, something like that. I can't remember exactly. 55 or 56 years when she no, I take that back. 53 years when she passed. I always forget that I'm, actually a stepchild to my dad. Don't tell him that. I mean, if you ask my dad, he remembers my birth, he remembers, all when I started walking, he remembers everything. So, aw, mm, mm, mm. So I'm just really glad to see you guys, thank you. I was kinda wondering if being an odd time, if anybody would even show up because it is odd, I usually go at 5, but honestly, I was just afraid I wouldn't be ready to have it done if I went at 5 because I was, so up so late or went to bed so early this morning instead of late at night and then, messed around with Mags, my little puppy, and so I only got about maybe 2 hours sleep total, so if I fall asleep, y'all just ignore the snoring, Ha ha. At least it's not an 11-hour Zoom call, right? So, anyway, I do have just one little item, no, 2 little items of business. I did add what I think is gonna be right now my final 2 mods. Um, so they're both kinda having some health issues right now, so I'm not exactly sure when they're gonna be here, but I added Hockeytown John. He should be here coming in, in the next little bit or whenever he's feeling like it. He just had a pretty serious surgery. So if y'all are praying people or if good vibes or whatever, send some out to Hockeytown John. So Emma, very funny, Buttercup. And she still comes out in me every once in a while. I'm really trying to get back to my goofy ass accent and not hers. And I also added Keely McDonald. Again, Keely's going through some serious health problems right now, so she may not be here immediately either, but, I wanted to go ahead and get them added so that they could also be in our mod chat and kinda get to know us and just see how we do and how we function and how absolutely ridiculous we are. But, yeah, I'm excited. I've always really liked Hockeytown John, and of course, I just absolutely, um he just sent me a message, that's what that ding was. I, absolutely love Keela too, so, uh, anyway, I'm just really glad. Yeah, I'm just really glad to have them. So, anyway, I did speak to Keela today. Hi, Eric. Good to see you. Oh gosh, a room raid. Cool, yeah. From Cosmic Connections. Thank you. We always love that. Yeah. Mischief says, "Us, we dysfunction." That is pretty much true. We are dysfunctional at times, aren't we? Oh, well. I keep telling them, I go, "You're not gonna have to worry about me yelling at you or bossing you around, because if anybody gets bossed around, it's this girl. I'm the one that gets bossed around." So, I don't do a whole lot of bossing unless I'm teasing. The other day, I told, Mischief, I said, "I gave you an order, now do it." I think it was to rest, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was to rest or something completely. Oh, yeah, if you're saying we're morons, I was laughing because I'm like, you know, Jenna always says that she acts like a psycho. Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, that's us. That's she'd be comfortable in our mod chat too. We're all a little bit psycho." But anyway, yeah, so at some point, probably not today, but you all, be on the lookout. Hockeytown John and Keela McDonald will be joining our team. I'm so excited. And another thing that we did do is we added 28 new subscribers since this time yesterday. So, oh, it was to rest? Yeah, I thought it was. It was to rest, and I did bully you. I did. I did bully you, but you needed to rest. Good Lord. Yes, welcome Cosmic Raiders. We are always thrilled for Raiders. We really are. And Eric Raider too when he comes in. We like all Raiders, right? So anyway, y'all, I wanted to tell you, I actually spoke on the phone to Keela. She's been in the hospital a week down in Houston at the Methodist Hospital. She sounded better to me. I'm gonna cry. She sounded better to me today than she has in weeks. Absolutely weeks. Yeah, they subscribe to Emma. She needs her own channel apparently. So, no, she really did. She sounded so good. It sounded like her. She was laughing. We were laughing and cutting up, and she was, bless her heart, she had just she's tired of being poked. She don't have any good veins. She's like me, and she didn't have any good veins, and they finally did put in a PICC line. But they were actually getting IVs in her knuckles and stuff, so can you imagine that? So, y'all, please, if you pray or anything whatever you do, please add Keela to that too. So, hey, Constance June, good to see you. Thank you for being a member. So, yeah, pray for our or whatever you do for our Keela and for Hockeytown John. They're both going through some stuff, but both of them, I guess their numbers and stuff are looking up. It's looking better. I won't tell everything with Keela. It's not my job, but she did say, that, she tells this, so I don't feel like that it's private. But anyway, she was actually just born with one kidney, and that kidney was failing her, was one of the problems. Her liver and her kidney was failing. And they've got her kidney back to functioning properly. So now we're working on the liver and getting all of her blood counts. She sent me her latest blood counts, and I'm gonna look it all up, y'all, and cross reference. And I got pretty good at that sitting through all that chemo. So I'm gonna look it up and see if I can make any heads or tails of what it is. And but she thinks she's gonna get to come home next week. So that was fun and exciting. So I one more thing, I think, yeah. I don't know if all of you all watched the, video that I did yesterday, the parody video. If not, you can go watch it later. It's interesting. It was fun. I loved it. I had fun doing it, and I just wanna thank everybody. I mean, it is unreal, the, positive feedback that I've gotten from that. I really was not trying to be ugly or mean-spirited or anything. I was just trying to have fun, and I was kind of making fun of myself at the same time by making the accent, like, even more crazy than mine. And, well, I couldn't make it go away. I tried for, like, 2 hours to make my accent go away, but I have to be too deliberate with, like, every single and see, it won't work. I have to be very deliberate with every single word, and see, like, words still sound, but I would practice, and I thought, "I can't do this whole parody that way," being very, like, stilted, very stilted, like some kind of robot, and it just wouldn't work. And so Marilee's watched it 4 times. Oh. Yes, mischief. They are a little bit. I did put a little bit of blush on today, but I went with a brown trying to, like, cover up they're still red, and, like, I scrubbed and scrubbed. I used my makeup remover. I used, like, a scrub kind of soap. Neither one of those worked. I finally used my Neutrogena. It's an oil-based, um, eye makeup remover, and, turn that down, and so it finally took it off, but even then my face was kinda stained looking, and so, I had to do it again today, and so I don't know. I might be full of zits tomorrow, so y'all, if I come back on here and it's just like, "Boop, boop, 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 boop," you'll know, "Yeah, there we go. She's trying," she's recovering from the blush. But anyway, I really did. I've only gotten so far, and we all know that can change on a dime, like, as soon as she does a video. Um, I've only gotten one kind of negative comment. Not really, just said that they didn't like bullies and that they thought that it was mean. So, "I don't like it. I think it's mean, and I don't like bullies." And I said, "Well, I don't either, and at least I didn't lie." Everything that I said was true, and it was, pretty much quotes from her and everything, and I said, "And you knew exactly who it was." So anyway, that, anyway, so, in case you didn't know, it was about Reese. I called her, Immature Emma is what my name was, and I've had so many people have messaged me, sent comments, all kinds of stuff, and they want me to, like, do this again, like, do that character again, and, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I do have, one idea for a video. Hey, One True Morbs, good to see you. Oh gosh. This your Susie your my Emma sketch had you rolling. Thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you. But anyway, I do have one idea, so she might pop back in, soon. Um, Again, it won't be mean-spirited. If somebody did that kind of a sketch about me, I would laugh. I would think it was funny, and, I mean, I'm an easy target, I mean, I have a ridiculous accent, and I have well, first of all, my roots are growing in like that much. I need to, fix that, and I can't see half the time, so you end up looking up my nose, and no, that's not a booger, it's the back to my nose ring. But, I mean, I would be an easy target, so if anybody does it, unless they're just ugly, like nasty. and or pick on my kids or something, then I would probably be ugly then. I'd probably act ugly, but, you know, it don't bother me. It was done in fun, and even one of her friends was on there and actually liked it and said it was dead on and that she didn't think it was ugly at all. She didn't think I was being mean-spirited at all, so that made me feel better. Because I mean, yeah, I was trying to poke some fun and, she didn't have any problem being real ugly about me and a lot of my friends. So, don't give any don't give you any ideas to do a sketch about you, totally respectfully, of course. You go ahead. You go ahead. I would love it. I think it's like I mean, what is it they say? I'm gonna get it wrong, but, like, like imitation is a form of flattery kind of a deal. So, you know, I don't know. If somebody, like as long as they're not being ugly. I mean, I've seen yeah, yeah, you guys. Aw, just joined the chat. You made me laugh so hard yesterday. Well, thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a member. DOA is a fraud. Good to see you too. Y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get started. That was pretty much the end of my little. One woman said that that it was Oscar worthy. I'm like, oh my word. I don't know about that, but I really, there's no way. But yeah, I had fun with it. So thank you guys. And thank you for watching it. And you know, I just didn't want anybody to think that I was really trying to be ugly because I wasn't. I was mainly just, like, blown away that she had an 11-hour Zoom meeting. I was just like, "Oh my god." That's what kinda stirred it, and then I, made a joke to my mods on our little mod chat where we get in all kinds of trouble and said, "I feel a video coming up," and we kinda laughed, and they're like, "Do it." And, so I said, "Well, it is April Fool's Day," so I thought, "Okay, I'll do it." So I did. So anyway, but I'm gonna get started. We're back to business. We're back to, boring ass Susie today. So, yeah. Hold on a second. I'm just looking at some stuff. Goodness. Yeah. See? Boring ass Susie, because I said that at the end of the video. I said, boring ass Susie will be back tomorrow. So anyway, I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so, so much. You really do. You've made my day. All those comments have just made my day. Cindy B, thank you. Gosh, I'm gonna be like Reese. I'm gonna be like Emma. Yeah. I'm gonna be like Reese with the, 45-minute roll call. Y'all are just great. Thank you. Thank you so much. And for those of you that are watching on the replay, thank you so much. Or lurkers, whatever. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And also thank you to Night Porter, who I think is probably responsible for a good many of those 28 or whatever it was, new subscribers that we got in 24 hours. So that's a lot with the channel my size. So it's a lot. But anyway, so I'm gonna get busy now and I'm gonna kind of ignore the chat a little bit or I will never get through this, but I'll get back with you. Hey Evie, good to see you. So anyway, so a lot of y'all will already know if you followed my channel for very long that I've never really been a huge uh Mike Rinder fan. I'm not going this is not a bash Mike Rinder thing. I mean, first of all, the poor man has passed and rest in peace. Seriously. That's not what this is. But it does have to do with him. And actually kind of in defense of him. So so anyway, um contrary to a lot of the trolls and haters, me not liking him didn't have anything at all to do with Aaron Smith Levin. It really didn't. I didn't like him on the Aftermath show. I thought he kind of came off as pompous and all this kind of stuff. Again, I'm really not trying to badmouth him. I'm trying to tell you where I was coming from, with my not dislike so much, but just not really all that kind of a dislike, if I'm honest. Yeah. Let's just be honest. Yeah. Okay, I didn't like the man. But anyway, it really didn't have anything to do with Aaron. I didn't like some of the stuff that went on with Aaron, but it didn't have, I was already where I was at. And so I always laugh because I'm like, man, the haters and stuff, they give Aaron far more credit and power than the man actually has. Because I don't know anybody that takes orders from him, and I'm still waiting on a check. If he's handing them out, I want to know where they're at because I have supported him and I have not seen a single check. So, anyway, I think I said hi to you, Nikki, but if not, hello, Nikki Hatfield. Good to see you. So, anyway, but y'all, I do respect the work that he did with the Aftermath Foundation and especially what he did in the early years after he came out of the cult. He did a lot and I appreciate that. I think that he deserves some respect for that. I still have my issues, but I think he deserves some respect for that. And I would not wish cancer on my worst enemy. And even if I did, he was never my worst enemy. He probably had no clue who I was. I never met the man. I never spoke to the man. So, I mean, my worst enemy was probably Stephanie Hutchison, if we're perfectly honest. And I've never spoke to her either, but she certainly made herself a good target. She's a lot of like 8% that I have. I said I have 8% what some might call drama and 92% of just straight, you know, normal business as usual, no drama kind of stuff. And so Stephanie was a big part, probably at least half of my 8%. So, and I haven't really talked about her lately because she's just not worth it, to be honest. But anyway, it just feels like to me, y'all, the man just passed away. What, 4 months ago? Not quite 4 months ago. Almost. Within a couple of days of 4 months. I don't know what today is. Yeah, within 3 days of 4 months. And it just seems like that the Scientology vultures had to have been just circling around. Yeah, 92% nice, 8% spicy. Yeah, that's not too bad, right? I told my daughter, I said, if it gets up around 25%, I might start worrying. But if it gets up around 25%, do I qualify as a pepperhead then? Can I, you know, maybe. Yeah, I don't see my pepperhead friends in here today. I don't know where they're at. But anyway, so literally they had to have been sitting there circling these damn vultures, waiting for this man to pass because less than 24 hours after he passed, you know, oh hell no, good to see you. It's good to see you. I less than 24 hours after he passed, Kenneth Moxon submitted 3 new records requests concerning Mr. Rinder. He requested these record requests of the city of Clearwater in Florida, okay? Within 24 less than 24 hours. Like, seriously, more like 12, maybe 16, you know? They had to have already had this stuff drawn up and just waiting to submit it, put a date on it and submit it, which is I don't know. So, apparently, Claire Headley, um, brought the matter to, Tony Ortega's attention, and I don't know how she found out about it because, I mean, unless somebody from Clearwater City Hall told her or I don't know, or because, I mean, it wasn't like a family business thing or something, so I don't know, but anyway, so Claire Headley brought the matter to Tony Ortega's attention, and I don't know how she found out, but good for her, and good for her for bringing it to his attention. And the request, y'all, are for records of correspondence. I'm reading it because I don't want to get it wrong. Because anytime I have legal type things, I want to make sure I get it right. So anyway, they are records of correspondence between Mr. Rinder and the city of Clearwater, each covering different 5-year periods, starting with 2007 to 2012, 2013 to 2018, and 2019 to present, or, till the day he died, which I'm sure that, that was not what he was worrying about when he was taking his last breath, was Scientology or Clearwater or any of that. I'm sure he was worried about his family. Mm. They just make me mad, y'all. So I'm trying not to get too fired up. But, I sat there and I was wondering about it, and I'm like, my first thought, honestly, was it sounds like a guilty conscience to me. You know, what are they so afraid that Mr. Rinder spoke to the city of Clearwater about? I can't figure it out. So, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of icky if you ask me, to literally wait until, hey, Kenny, good to see you, till less than 24 hours after the man has died, after a long, painful, horrible illness. I mean, this was not like a car wreck and maybe they hadn't heard that he had passed or something. No, they knew. They knew exactly. So, I mean, the man was not even buried or whatever yet. They had not yet, taken care of any kind of arrangements or anything. And they're worried. I mean, just lay low a little bit. He's gone. He's not going to do anything else. So, just lay low and just give it a minute. But no, Kendrick Moxon, he's over there filing papers immediately. But y'all, we are dealing with the cult of Scientology. And add in this Moxon person to the mix, and it's just, it smacks corruption. And I probably would have less good to say about Kendrick Moxon than I would Tom Cruise. Just for, you know, reference sake. And y'all know I don't like Tom Cruise, and it didn't have anything to do with Scientology. I never did like him. So when he slid across the floor in his tidy whities and his white shirt, I already didn't like him. I was like, this guy is full of himself. I don't know, just didn't like him. And he wasn't even in Scientology then that I know of. So anyway, in case you didn't know, Moxon is Scientology's, in-house attorney. They use him for everything. He's like the lead on pretty much everything. I mean, they've got tons of attorneys, but he's always pretty much the yeah, it says a lot. He's always pretty much the ringleader of the circus. Hey, that would be a good one. It could be the circus of Scientology. Still using that C because I just can't hardly call it a church. And cult is, I mean, I know it's a cult, but circus kind of fits too. But anyway, so he's the in-house, you know, kingpin here. He's like the little, of the lawyers anyway. He's like the, whatever. But he was also, y'all, if you don't remember, an unindicted co-conspirator in the Operation Snow White thing. The whole bullshit infiltration, I can't talk, of the IRS and other government agencies. He was, a co-conspirator on that, and he swears, I didn't know I was, passing along false information and blah 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 that helped them to do that. No, he knew. It's my opinion, allegedly. But anyway, I think that he should have lost his damn license. Yeah, he's an attack dog. Absolutely. He makes me sick. He just makes me sick. He's like an attack dog, and then Tom Cruise is like my little Mags, like a little lap dog. Just little, fluff. So, anyway, so if you haven't read, um yeah, do some videos exposing the secrets he couldn't tell whilst he was alive. Yeah, while I get but again, even in death, the crap on victims. Yeah, and I get it. Yeah, I get it. But, anyway, so Tony Ortega, if you haven't watched it yet, go read his, he's got like a blog or something, and, it's really good. Just look him up by name and it'll come up. And that's what I did. And, so he reported that the records request were to include, but not be limited to, and he wrote it out, he has it all on here. Now, y'all, now remember, it's also for all this 15 years, basically. 15 years of records that he's asking for, okay? So it is records, or I'm sorry, reports from, to, or with Rinder on Scientology, video, audio, or photographic recordings from, to, or with Rinder on Scientology, any materials, hard or soft copy from, to, or with Rinder on Scientology, any information from flash drives, USB devices from, to, or with Rinder on Scientology, emails from, to, or with Rinder on Scientology, notes from, to, or with Rinder on Scientology, and text messages from, to, or with Rinder on Scientology. So I just think that he could have put, I want all the shit that you got, any kind of communication between anybody in the city and Mike Rinder. But no, he's probably getting, somebody's getting paid for the freaking word. Every time they type a word, they're getting paid for it. That's probably his, legal assistant and stuff. But and you know who they're billing for that? Scientology. So anyway, so when I was thinking about it as I'm reading, and I would stop and I would, because I'm always like, I'll read a little bit and then I'll stop and kind of try to absorb what I've read and kind of figure out, what am I thinking about this so far as we go. Yeah, I liked Val Kilmer way better than, yeah, yeah. I liked Val Kilmer and him in as Doc Holliday. There will never be a Doc Holliday to me. Just won't. But anyway, so I wondered, what is Miscavige scared of? I really did. I thought, what is he so scared of that he has to gather up all these documents? Can you imagine? They're like getting a little post-it that says Mike Rinder called, and it's just ridiculous. But then I got to thinking about it, and I'm thinking, we are talking about documents that date back to 2007. And if Rinder had any kind of real dirt that he was gonna pass off to somebody, um, he would be doing that to the IRS, to, the FBI, that kinda thing. Why the city of Clearwater? The city yeah, you can be my Huckleberry. I'm serious. I might have to go watch that tonight. I might have to, 'cause I'm brokenhearted. I really am over Val Kilmer's passing. I just loved him. So, if I just saw that. Are you sli she's sliding off her seat now, y'all. I'm never gonna let that video down. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so the city of Clearwater is just like any city. If you have something on them that, was against the city, then that's one thing. But the kind of stuff that he would have had would have went to the FBI or possibly the IRS. And so it didn't make any sense. So, but I am new to this whole mess. I'm learning. I'm further behind than most of you all. Some of the new ones that have joined, like from the pepper community and stuff, They don't know as much as I know, but I mean, the rest of you probably know as much or more than I know. And so I'm learning and I'm trying to figure everything out and, you know, figure out how to do it. But so I kept reading his report and I thought, Miscavige isn't scared. This is a grudge. He's holding a grudge. But then I couldn't figure out why. I mean, and obviously I know why he might not, like Mike Rinder, but not to the point that it would make any sense to do this. He could get Osa to do some shit against Rinder if that's what he wanted to do, but and could have at any time, and did. And so anyway, I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, but I kept reading, you know, and and I'm not telling y'all everything that he said in his report because I want you to go back and read it if you want to, if you're interested, because it is a good report. He does a good job, and he's kind of a smart ass. I'm kind of liking him a little bit. I don't know. I've read a lot of his stuff, and I don't know everything about him either. But this one, he was kind of funny. But so anyway, his theory, and I will admit that I'm kind of inclined to agree with him, is that little Davy is still just pissy over the fact uh, the city of Clearwater refused to sell him a tiny little parcel of land back in 2017. Now the land sits directly across from or in front of or behind or something the Fort Harrison Hotel. And nobody knows why they want it, just like that street that they're trying to pay, over $1 million for that's just right there in between two of their properties. And so, they just like tossing that money out, making it rain, y'all, just making it rain. So, they don't really know what they want the property, which they don't have to tell them. But he wanted that property and they wouldn't sell it. And he was willing to pay like several times over what the little property was worth. So anyway, Ortega says that the only reason that he or some of the other people that are way more knowledgeable about the subject than I am can figure out why that he would want it was to prevent any kind of development so close to the Fort Harrison Hotel, which they kind of consider their most holy site, which the thought of anything having to do with the cult, circus, church, whatever, of Scientology being called holy makes me wanna puke in my mouth a little bit. So, it just makes me sick. But so anyway, um, this parcel of land also, by coincidence, sits right by or right behind the, cabanas. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but I think that he was pretty dead on some stuff that I'm not a huge fan personally. I think that some of his work is pretty good, Joel, but, I'm still learning. But I do agree. I'm probably at about a 4, around a 4, not quite a 5 yet, but, I'm hard to I'm not easily made to, I'm kinda, I don't know, too much time in the business. But anyway, it sits behind the part or behind the cabanas where, lo and behold, the cult held Lisa McPherson in 1995 whenever she was going through her introspection rundown, which actually eventually resulted in her passing. But I just bet money. I bet Tony's right on this one. I bet that little old Davy is just sitting there like a sold up little tiny tot, you know, just wondering what Mike Rinder might have said, just, not even officially, but what he might have said and, to anybody in the city. So that's what I think he's doing. I think that he's just having him a little temper tantrum, just a little, you know, sulk. He's just sulking. And Moxon says that he will, this is funny, y'all, for all of those records, right? 15 years of records, 15 years. He says, I don't like Dodge at all. I give him like a negative 2. I don't like him. But anyway, Moxon said that he's willing to pay for any, what did he say here? For any reasonable search and copy fees up to $100. Y'all, 15 years. Me and Joel are arguing over who gets what kind of score. But anyway, 15 years of records, and they want any kind. I mean, granted, there might be 2 little Post-it notes. We don't know. There might be boxes full. You don't know yet, right? I kinda hope it's boxes full and that, he said, "Let me know if it's gonna be over $100 before you print them, basically, and let me know about it." But I'm telling you guys, that fucker would get a bill from me for absolutely not one dime less than $1,000. Not one dime less. I mean it. I would set aside one highly paid city employee, and they would search every nook and cranny of that entire building and make sure that there wasn't anything. I would search the fire departments, the police departments, wherever, the courthouse, anything that has anything to do with the city, I would search it. And I mean, it might be $10,000 before it was over. And I would tell him, this is running up. We're at 1,000. Oh, now we're at, 2,000. Oh, we're here. We're there. I don't care if they found one Post-it note, which would be funny if they searched and searched and searched and searched and found one Post-it note of something. But I mean, I've played these games. I've played the games on both sides. I've had people that came to me as my newspaper and we want records of this and this. We want to see blah, 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 we blah, 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 on and on and on. And I've also been the newspaper person that goes to the city and says, listen, I'm filling out this thing. Here's this, I want this, um, I need to do this search. I need this information and that information. And they're like, well, it's going to take about 6 weeks. I'm like, bullshit. It's on the computer. Click print. I'll wait. And, but this is like ridiculous. This is a grudge. This is little Davy just wanting to rattle some chains. You know, I mean, now if they happen to find anything, and I'm not saying that there is, and I'm not saying that there isn't. I have absolutely no idea what may or may not be there. But if they find anything, then that's just gravy for Scientology. They're just like, oh, look, we got all this information. And part of me hopes they find a whole bunch of shit, and part of me hopes they find a Post-it note. So, but remember just a couple days ago when we were listing the reasons why a cult church could lose their tax exemption? Remember that video we just did? I'm paraphrasing, but it said that they're not supposed to spend that money, that tax-free money, y'all, that was from donations and all that, right? They're not supposed to spend that money on anything that isn't going towards the church's original purpose. It can't be for a private benefit, private person benefit or a private inurement. It can't be like to benefit any one person or any like organization within the organization, so like it can't be to benefit the Sea Org. It can't be to benefit OSA. It can't be to benefit anything. It has to benefit the original purpose of the church. Obviously not completely, but significantly. That it has to be the significance of it has to be that. So, how can they spend tax-free money paying a lawyer, God only knows how much, because I know what I pay my lawyer, and he is not Kendrick Moxon. He's in Stillwater, Oklahoma. He's not in Los Angeles. He's not, yeah, they can't go after Rinder, so but they could have. They could have asked for these records at any time. They didn't have to wait for the man to die. I don't get it. I really don't. Did they just suddenly get worried? I don't know. But anyway, I swear, as soon as I heard this, it just reminded me of vultures. Like, we get vultures out here in the sticks, and there'll be like a cow dies off in somebody's pasture or something, or anything, a dog or a coyote or anything. And you'll know because you'll see the vultures circling overhead. You'll see vultures, coming down and getting, you know, carcasses off of the road. I mean, that's gross, but that's life. That, the circle of life, y'all. And that's what it feels like. It just, not only, I don't even, yeah, it feels gross that they waited until he passed, but they're not hurting him. They're not gonna hurt him. They're not gonna hurt anybody. They're trying to be a pain in the ass and make somebody have to look for all of those documents. That's what they're trying to do. They just want to be a pain in the ass. But how can they do that and use tax-free church donations? The person that donated it is getting a tax write-off for donating it. The church doesn't have to pay taxes on it. It is not supposed to be used for a benefit that is not the original benefit of the church. Is the original benefit of the church? Yes. To harass people, because that's what I mean. Is that a purpose that fits in with being able to get a, a tax exemption now? We're church and our job is going to be to harass people. Now give me my tax-free status. No. I swear well, it's culty AF. It just is. So, then again, y'all, here we go. I'm gonna cool down a little. Leah Remini is somebody else that has never been, I've never been a fan. It didn't have anything to do with Scientology. It didn't have anything to do with Aaron. It had to do with, I didn't like Leah. And I almost didn't watch that Aftermath series because I didn't like her. Yeah. Scientology is a royal pain in the butt. Really? I'm shocked. Joel, you are such a smartass. But that's why I love you so much. But anyway, I didn't like her as an actress. I didn't like her personality. I thought that she was just a smartass and just kind of, I don't know, not my not my cup of tea. And so, like I said, I almost didn't watch the Aftermath show because of that. I watched it and I fell in love with all of the victims. And I hate that word, but I fell in love with all the second gens and third gens was on there, and that's who I watched it for. And I just was like, honestly, we recorded it, and anytime it was just like Leah or Mike, I would fast forward through those parts because I didn't care for them. And so I know, again, the haters would be like, oh, she just don't like because of Aaron. No, it didn't have anything to do with Aaron. So, if they wanted to ask, I'd tell them why I didn't like her. But anyway, I'm going to give kudos to Leah because Leah and Mike Rinder's wife, Christy, went and picked out with the city of Clearwater, went and picked out the perfect place to put a memorial bench for Mike. And they put a plaque on it. And I put a copy or a picture of the plaque on my thumbnail if you want to look at that. I'll probably put it in my community post later just because I think it's nice. But anyway, so they did that. They found the perfect spot for this bench. And I'm glad they did it. I really am. For one thing, you know, like him or not, that's everybody's their choice. They have their own right to their own opinions on everything. But like it or not, it gives people a place that they can go and sit. Like I was just thinking about like ex cult members and not even all the ones that are necessarily on, on YouTube doing it, but just there's a lot of people that are just not part of the cult anymore, or maybe they're, thinking about not being in the cult anymore or whatever. And I just thought that it's a beautiful place. It's a nice little bench. It's surrounded by some foliage and everything. It faces the water. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And I thought it would be a nice place to go sit and reflect. And whenever we go there, we're planning to be there in December um, for the anniversary of Lisa McPherson's passing. And anyway, I plan to be there, and I do want to go see the bench, even though I wasn't a huge fan. I mean, I think it's cool. And I like that his wife was in on the picking out of it because so much of the time it feels like she kind of gets pushed to the side. Everybody thinks about Leah. Leah's more vocal. Christy's not so vocal. I mean, maybe in their circle, but I mean, as far as like, you know, publicly, she's way more vocal and he was my brother, he was this, he was that. And so I was just glad to know that his wife was actually included because I know he loved her and I think that she loved him. I mean, they have a child and it's just, I don't know. So another thing about it is I hope that it just chaps David Miscavige's ass knowing it's there. I just hope that it just chaps his ass. And, I think that it's funny that in some way it's like that Mike has gotten the last word over David with that bench. Because no matter what Mike's or what David says, there sits the bench. David says something the next day, there sits the bench. Mike's getting the last word. I think it's a big old, F you to Scientology, to every victim that has, from every victim that has gotten out. And I just think that, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And anyway, I know that Mr. Rinder was not perfect. He took things to the grave that mattered to victims, that absolutely still matter to victims. And, you know, I wish that he wouldn't have taken that stuff to the grave. I mean, but I think that he was also a victim. And if we're giving grace to all these victims and that maybe they don't react as, like we would or how we think they should or whatever, then we have to give grace to him too. Because, if you give it to one, you got to give it to all. And I honestly think that, had it been earlier on kind of a thing, I don't know why he didn't turn all that stuff over. I'm not inside his head. I don't know. But I think that ego played into it. And I don't know, fame, ego, the whole bit, and he had a lot to lose. He he honestly probably had as much or more to lose than anybody that he would have told on, basically. And so, he could have went to jail too. He could have went to jail too because we know that there were crimes that he was involved in, and so I don't know. I understand him not speaking out about I don't like it. Yeah, I'm still mad. I'm salty about it, y'all. I really am still salty, but I'm trying to I mean, the guy has passed and he can't change it now. So I can't argue with him. I can't change his mind. I can't, make him see the light. I can't do any of that. So, ugh. But y'all, Miscavige and this asswipe Moxon are just money grabbing pieces of garbage. Hey, eat more pizza. Good to see you. So, I mean, they are. They're just pieces of shit, is what I think. And, allegedly, or in my opinion, whatever. And I also just wanna add that I think the IRS is just crooked as hell. They have to be. I really cannot get past the thought that somebody that Scientology has something on somebody deeply into it, that they are protecting Scientology. It has to be something. Nothing else makes sense. There has to be a corruption level something there. So, anyway, I keep getting messages, y'all. Anyway, yeah, I'm like, maybe I should check my phone, right? And giggle and yeah. Okay. Oh, hell no says just something to think about when you write the words the IRS, it spells theirs. True. True. I had not thought of that. I agree. Absolutely. Absolutely. I am wondering, what do you all think? Do you think that Scientology's got something on the IRS? Do you think that there's something that Mike Rinder might have talked about with the city of Clearwater? Do y'all think that there's something there that I'm just not seeing? Because like I said, I'm new at this. I really don't know. And I'm just trying to kind of figure it out as I go along and see what I think. And I don't know. I'm really just not sure what to think about it. And so if you all have any bright ideas about it that can enlighten me, that would be amazing. So anyway, if anybody's got any of that, you can put it in the comments after the live, or hit me up on Messenger, or my email is running across the bottom of the screen. I love to hear everybody's opinions. I really do. Brooke Elliott says, yeah, I already saw part of it that I agreed with. Let's see here. I think Scientology has their hands in many parts of the government. Yeah. Pam Bondi. Yeah, that one gets me too. I don't like that. Yeah, that's another thing. You are hitting on something that I wondered about, and I forgot to mention that. Okay, so uh, there was some kind of an agreement, okay, that went on between the IRS and Scientology, but we've never been made aware of what the agreement was, because they reached a settlement. Like they said, okay, we'll do it for this. They owed, like, I can't remember how many millions in back taxes, and they ended up paying like a small, I wrote that down and I forgot to say it. I forgot to bring it. But anyway, so yeah, they owed the IRS, I mean, a lot of millions, many millions in back taxes. And the IRS settled for like a small fraction of what they were owed. And there was like a written, some sort of an agreement. Well, they made the amount that was that was settled on, that was public knowledge. But they've never made the agreement public knowledge. So I wonder if there was something in there. And I don't know what, did it say, we'll give you your tax exemption. We'll I don't know. I don't know what it said, and I'm just like dying to find out. But Joe McCoy says all governments have one thing in common: total incompetence. Don't give any of them too much credit. Absolutely. And that's the deal, is that sometimes whenever I'm thinking about it, I like seriously kind of give them too much credit. You know how like a lot of things gets, OSA gets credit for everything, when maybe it was that you just ran over a nail, or maybe it was, just some idiot that threw firecrackers in your yard, or maybe, whatever, went through your trash, whatever. Maybe it was OSA. I mean, they absolutely do it. They've been caught doing it. But, you know, everything gets attributed to OSA. And so, I wonder, I wonder that with the government, like, I don't wanna give them too much credit, but then at the same time, I'm like, "Ugh, I don't know." Sometimes they are pretty diabolical. Yeah, money makes bad things go away. Yeah, absolutely, Brooke, and Scientology has always worked that to their favor. They always have. So, yeah, it was 12.5 million. Yeah. Brenda says, "Oh, I missed a where's the first part? Sorry. Let me find you." What's that? I keep seeing we got people pulling up in here again. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm slow. Me and my mouse on this thing don't get along. Where is that at? Ooh, I'm hot, y'all. It's hot in here today. I can't find the first part. She says that she understands second gens like Miriam and Serge who hold things against him. I do too. It's their right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't find blame in those that do. I'm like I'm trying to be like, you know, open and not, blame him for everything. I'm frustrated as hell with him, but I try to give him a little bit of grace, but I do absolutely understand the ones that can't. I absolutely. I would not I don't blame them. If I was them, you could not get me to give him grace. So, you know. Joel says, "I had a flat tire. Osa had nothing to do with it. It was all on Aaron." Of course it was. Absolutely. Absolutely. That Aaron, he gets a lot of he gets so much, like, credit for stuff and you know, they give him way more power than what he's ever gonna hope to have, ever. So, anyway, yeah, gosh, I just appreciate y'all so much. I just wanna thank you again. Um, Again, if you would, please um keep Keela and Talkytown John in your thoughts and prayers, whatever that you do, that would be great. They are both going through some significant health battles, significant. But Keela, bless her heart, I was going to tell that earlier and I didn't do it. Her liver is messing up on her, and so she's going to be on the transplant list actually. So I know whenever you hope for that, so much of the time it's like you're hoping and praying for her to get something, but so much of the time it's like you're hoping and praying that somebody else has a tragedy. But the good thing is that sometimes they don't have to have the full liver, they can have living donors and stuff. And so I'm going to get tested. I want to see if I'm a match by any stretch of the imagination. And if so, if I could give her part of mine, I will. I love her that much. If I can give her part of mine, I will. And if I'm a match, you know. And so, anyway, she's been very bloated. Like her little feet, bless her heart. They look like little Freddie Flintstone feet. You couldn't even hardly tell. It looked like a water or like what it looked like is like if you take a glove and you fill it full of water, except for if the little fingers on the gloves was like short like toes. But that's what it looked like. It was like this big bubble and then little bubbles of toes, sticking out, and it did not resemble a foot. It looked deformed. And she said that her feet and her legs and her ankles are back to normal. They are filling her full of Lasix and getting that off of her, and they're doing stuff to fix things with the liver and the kidneys and all that. And so she is really, really, really doing well. And so I'm just, you know, ugh, and I don't know how all of y'all feel about those COVID shots, y'all, but they said that a lot of this is because, or most of it is, it's a COVID injury. She had COVID 6 times. And so, if you're not completely opposed, I would get them. It's scary, and I know that people have valid reasons to be scared of certain, vaccines and stuff, but y'all, she's not old enough to be going through this. She is not old enough. So, anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm so grateful for all of you all, and if you haven't watched that video, please go watch it. It is listed as a video. I did not do it as a live. I did not want the super chats and stuff. I was not trying to make money off of it. I did accept for, for them to pay me for views, but I'm not, I didn't want it to get super chats and all that kind of stuff. So, it was just for fun, and I really kind of hoped that some of her people, or even herself, would see it and think, "Oh my god, that's true," you know, because, Reese is a strange thing, but I spent a long time caring deeply for her, and I don't wish bad on her by any stretch of the imagination, but I just want things to change. I want think for people, and, all we've told what's happening, and that's all we can do, and I hope. Now, Tommy, Brett, I don't have anything. I don't have not 1 ounce of grace, respect, kind thoughts, nothing. Nothing for him. Nothing. So, I mean, I don't wish him evil things, but I don't have anything good. So, anyway, I'm gonna go. We're having frozen pizza, y'all. Yeah, Mark said, "Let's just have frozen pizza," and I'm like, "Okay with me." So, I'm gonna go pop that in the oven before he gets home. Should be here anytime, actually. And I will probably see y'all in somebody's chat if anybody does a live tonight. And if not, I'll be back tomorrow, probably at 5, probably at 5 Central Time. So I love you. Thank you very much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow.